The viewers of Netflix's Missing You have panned the show because of the numerous plot holes and confusing elements that distract from the story. Based on the 2014 eponymous novel by New York Times best-selling author Harlan Coben, the show follows a police detective named Kat Donovan who reinvestigates her father's murder once her ex-fiancé, who left following the death, reappears on a dating app. Based on Missing You's excellent cast and interesting premise, viewers engaged with the show expecting a decent mystery story. Unfortunately, audience members quickly took to social media to express their frustration and upset. Missing You is far from the first mystery show to require a suspension of disbelief. However, the Netflix miniseries fails by pushing it too far. For the story to make sense, the audience must buy into contradictory plot details and nonsensical character decisions. The catfish pushed Kat away without knowing anything about her. The show contradicts itself regarding the messages between Kat and the catfish. Kat holds a yoga mat in Missing You. In the first episode of Missing You, Kat Donovan gets blocked by her ex-fiancé's dating website account immediately after sending him the song Missing You by John Waite and a flirty message about not missing him at all. Then, in Missing You episode 4, the man working with Titus says that he blocked the account because she was asking too many questions. He proceeds to show the exact same message exchange as Kat had in episode 1. This narrative inconsistency brings attention to the fact that the catfish account pushed Kat away without knowing anything about her. Her message didn't make it explicitly clear that she knew the man in the picture in the past, she didn't ask him any suspicious questions, and they didn't know that she was a police detective. As such, there's no internal explanation for why they blocked Kat. It simply moved the plot forward. Nobody mentions that there's a string of disappearances linked to the dating app. The police seem unaware that 8 missing people are connected to the dating app. A man dies on Titus Farm in Netflix's Missing You. Many plot elements of Missing You would have made sense if the show was set in the past, but they don't fit into current technology, societal attitudes, and systems. A great example of this is the fact that the police don't realize there's a string of disappearances linked to the music dating website or the puppy mill. In the mystery show, Titus has 8 people on his farm that he kidnapped. The flashback where Clint adopts a puppy implies that the scam of extorting, kidnapping, and murdering people has gone on for at least 11 years. With these things in mind, there's zero reason why the police shouldn't have recognized the string of disappearances sooner. Titus wasn't going after the most marginalized communities. He seems to be going after affluent people, many of whom had families that would have reported them missing. Even if some didn't have families, the kidnappings only work if the audience believes that nobody noticed a person had disappeared. At least 2 victims were from the same area. If more came from Cat City, that would offer an even bigger trail. Even if they were from different locations, systems now exist for police in an area to communicate across precincts. It seems outrageous that the police wouldn't have clocked the pattern sooner. 6. Clint has an LGBTQ+ affirming family but is willing to murder to stay closeted. Clint's motivation for murder feels completely out of place. The way Missing You handles LGBTQ+ issues is great in some ways and terrible in others. Unfortunately, the Clint part of the storyline feels like a head-scratcher. The show needs audiences to believe that a cisgender man in 2013 with an LGBTQ+ affirming family and no obvious religious affiliations who is living in a metropolitan area with a community that accepts an openly trans woman would feel that murder is better than coming out. If he lived in a different time or place or had a different cultural background, his attitude would make more sense. However, as it is, Reddit users who watched the show have pointed out that the story and attitudes feel anachronistic. Ultimately, this issue could be rooted in the source material. The book on which the Netflix series is based came out in 2014. If Clint had been murdered 11 years before, that would be 2003, and he was with Parker for 14 years, placing the start of their relationship in 1989. This timeframe makes much more sense when looking at the attitudes around LGBTQ+ people than in a modern setting. Unfortunately, despite updating Aqua in a positive way, the writers didn't bother to update crucial parts of Clint's story from Harlan Coben's Missing You novel when putting it on screen. 5. The detective investigators didn't find DNA on Clint's body. Clint attacked Aqua before his death, so her DNA should have been on him. Kat looks at DCI Ellis Stagger in Netflix's Missing You. One plot hole in Missing You is the fact that Clint's murder cover-up went on for so long without more people at the police precinct knowing. By the end of the mystery miniseries, it's revealed that DCI Ellis Stagger helped Josh cover up the murder of Clint so that everyone could move on with their lives. However, nobody else seems to be aware of what really happened.